Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. I don't like this webcam. We're going to have to play around with the lighting and the webcam a little bit. This is the new place, so I'm going to have to tweak some things before we're done. It's just so far away. Maybe I need to change something in the actual webcam. I'll do that later, but for now, let's talk about El Camino, the continuation of Jesse Pinkman's story. Now, this is interesting because a long time ago, I promised about making this video dissecting a lot of shit that happened in Breaking Bad, showing that if they were to continue the story and a writer wanted to keep Walter White alive. Now, stop yelling at me. I'm not making the movie. I'm not petitioning for them to change the ending. I love Breaking Bad. I love the way they ended it. If we're getting another movie, I was doing like a creative experiment, like a creative practice. Well, if I was forced into writing that, what would be the best possible way? And I feel strongly I found it, or at least one way. If you have a better way, fucking say something then, because I seen there was a handful of people that were mad. But I was like, okay, I found this way. If we break down the story, there's a way to yada, yada, yada. Now, so I did the video, and I'll admit, I was playful when I started the video because I was saying, you think you know the whole story, but you don't. And then I went to show that you have Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, and then you have the Jack and then his nephew, and it was kind of like a mirror to Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, but totally evil, like 100% evil versions of them. And it's funny because when you get to the point where Heisenberg's dirt starts becoming found out, a lot of that dirt was used or done by Jack and not actually Heisenberg. I mean, physically. Heisenberg ordered the hits in the prison, but it was Jack and his people that put those hits in motion. It was Jack and his people that killed Jesse's girlfriend. It was Jack and his people that killed the kid when they were robbing the train. It was Jack and his people that did this and this and this. It was Jack and his people that ransacked Hank's house. It was Jack and his people that killed Hank and his partner, and yada, yada, yada. So there's so much evidence in the court of law. I don't give a shit what Maria knows or thinks she knows. None of that shit matters. And I know Walter White is evil. We saw him being evil. But as far as what the cops know and what we can prove, I was playful when I did this video, but I meant frame Jack, not Jack is the real Heisenberg. Because I got like 50 people saying, bro, we know Walter White is Heisenberg. What are you talking about? And I'm like, no. The idea is Jack is framed because it's perfectly set up. And when we got El Camino, it was partially exactly what I said when so many people got mad. If you just look at the story, it's already there, perfectly wrapped in a bow. And what is Jesse Pinkman? His DNA, his blood, his girlfriend killed, him brought to his girlfriend's house to witness the murder. It's all right there wrapped up in a bow. He was forced, actually physically chained into a hole in the ground. It was perfectly set up. How do you have a Breaking Bad movie with Jesse Pinkman in prison for the rest of his life? You don't. You frame Jack and his nephew, the evil Jesse. They're the ones who did all this and forced Jesse to do all that. It wasn't really, in the cops' eyes, in the law's eyes. I don't care what Marie knows. I don't care what Walter White's wife knows, because when you actually go to real life court, which if you're a good writer, you're basing this, in the real world, her lawyer's going to say, don't say shit, we're going to skate you by with as much as possible. Anyway, so in this El Camino, which I love this, you get Jack and his partner's picture hanging up on the wall, little Easter egg there, but they go in the room and they're questioning Skinny Pete, who has fantastic teeth for meth mouth. I just got to say right now, I'm jealous of those teeth. I don't even smoke meth, and he's got better teeth than I got. I mean, those teeth are perfect. Anyway, So you got Skinny Pete, and he's telling them, I heard what they did to Jesse Pinkman. I heard all that nasty shit. I heard they had him locked in a cage. If you think I'm going to help you guys put him back in another cage, you're crazy. Never. I'm never going to do it. Never, ever, ever going to do it. So again, that is literally what I was saying in the Walter White version of my video. But it's obviously used for Walter White, and I mentioned it for both Walter White and Jesse Pinkman in my videos called Walter White is Alive and Not Guilty. And again, it's an experiment to practice your writing. Write a Breaking Bad movie, but Walter White must be alive. Because listen, I love Jesse Pinkman, but let's be real, and I love the ending, but let's be real. If they're making a movie, I want Walter White to be alive. I mean, if they're making a movie, and they already are. I had a lot of people after the commercial, that failed advertisement with Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston. They did the, what was it? They did a tequila drink together, a new tequila brand. They did that together, and so many people were like, oh, dude, they're not doing a Breaking Bad movie. It's for tequila or something like that. And I'm like, no. The Breaking Bad movie is still on. You can friggin' Google it right now. That was just a failed little advertisement or whatever. So the movie is happening. It's coming out in October. I am really friggin' hyped. I'm still curious to see if they're going to do something with Walter White. Now, here's the thing. If they say screw it and it's just about Jesse Pinkman, we have to understand there's a couple problems with that. I've seen a whole handful of people going, whoop, whoop, Jesse Pinkman's the new Heisenberg, bitches. And I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm out of here. That completely ruins and destroys his character and his stories. Yet, conveniently, it's the same people saying, oh, it was a perfect ending. I need Walter White to be dead because that's perfect, but let's make Jesse Pinkman Heisenberg. Woo woo, bitches. And it's like, bro, you just killed that character. Jesse's dead. It's not Jesse. It's fucking Jake Skywalker now. You know what I mean? You need a character to, depending on the story. Now, obviously, we're thinking this is going to be meth. This is going to be the drug dealing. This is going to be cooking and yada, yada, yada. I think a real ballsy move would be an interesting and cool, unique story with Jesse on the run and maybe dealing with the ramifications of leaving an industry that big, because it's not just Gus. It's not just, I'm sure there's other people out there and there's other newer characters we're going to find out about, but there's going to be more to it than that. I think it should be more than just getting back and cooking meth, right? I mean, if we're being honest, do we really want just them cooking meth again? Or just Jesse cooking meth again? Do we really want that? We need a good story that's going to be a perfect add-on, an organic add-on to what we had with the series. Not just Breaking Bad was fun, let's do that again, in a movie. So in a way, if they go with just Jesse Pinkman, I'll be cool with it. Absolutely. There's a selfish part of me that will also be cool if they bring Walter White back. And I know that's going to be a tough sell. And there's a part of me that is fighting the other part, because half of me saying, yeah, I love Walter White. Bring him back. Let's do it. Then there's another part of me that's thinking, damn, I thought they ended it amazingly. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So either way they do it, as long as it's a good story, I'm going to give them the chance, but it's a rocky road no matter how they do it. If it's just Jesse Pinkman, you're going to have to add in something that is the Heisenberg element, the Gus Fring element. You're going to have to add in that Uncle Jack element, because that's not Jesse. That's not who he is. So you're going to have to add in something interesting in that way and have it connected. Again, I have no idea what this movie's going to be about, other than Jesse's on the run and he's on the lam. Where is he? What is he doing? I don't know. I mean, is he going to be forced to get back into the drug game to build his bread up to stay on the run, or what is he going to do? I don't know. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions. Now, keep in mind the Walter White, is he alive or not guilty? Again, this is something that was creative exercise. It was I thought it was hella fun because you could take everything. You could say, oh, he admitted to it on the phone with the cops. Of course he did, because Uncle Jack was going to kill him. He had to get his wife safe no matter what way. So he flipped it around, and he couldn't rat on Jack because Uncle Jack would have him brutally tortured and killed. And then you say, well, why didn't he just turn himself into the cops? Uncle Jack is the one who set up not just a killing in a prison, but multiple killings at the same time. Now, here's the thing. Walter White was the mastermind, but you have to think as far as if you were going to write this to where Walter White did survive, and he only did a little time in jail, because I would imagine there's going to be a time skip, either a year or 5 years or something like that. It would be neat to see Jesse on the run or on the lam a few years and see him dealing with that, and what would the story be. But when it comes to Walter White, once you start pinning and framing all the murders and all the heavy shit on Uncle Jack, you might pin Walter White with some small shit where he only does, with his background and his record, he only does a little bit of time, because, again, they get to where Walter White's body is, and they find Uncle Jack's gun, and they match it with the gun that killed Hank. They find Uncle Jack's car. It's the same car that was seen at a stoplight in the CCTV cameras. They get them ransacking Hank's house, finding the tape, destroying the tape. Then they threaten Skylar. Skylar can take a lie detector test, and then they're like, oh shit, she passed with flying colors. They did threaten her and her baby. There's so much evidence that they can use to pull a story and keep Walter and Jesse alive, because, again, there's Walter alive and out of jail. That's important, because what would be the point of the story if Walter White is in prison for the rest of his life, unless he is in prison and he's more of like a mentor character to Jesse. But then how's that going to work? I don't know. But I'm just saying, however they do it, there is a possibility to twist the story in a good way and not just have it shit out there. There's definitely room to play around with this. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm already making plans to watch it the moment it comes out on Netflix. I think it's October 11th? Yeah, October 11th. Freaking hyped. I think we have this, and we got the Joker movie. I just saw the trailer. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow, but there's so much more when it comes to the Walter White one. Like I said with my video, I found this to be so much fun watching the whole season and pinpointing these together. I did have a whole original script, but I accidentally deleted it when I was doing something, so that's why I just did this one take video real quick. If you want to watch this, it's just for play, and it's just like, what if you had to make it, but he's alive? So you let me know what you think about this. A lot of people watched it. A lot of people liked it. There was a good handful of people, about 200, that hated it. They were just mad, And I kept saying, I'm not the one who said make the movie. That's not me at all. But I do have to binge watch some of Better Call Saul. If you guys have watched that, let me know if it is lining up or giving more seeds to hint at what Saul did, because there is a chance we can see Saul in the Breaking Bad movie. I would imagine we'd see him, or at least make a cameo. There's not many characters. I mean, Marie, do we give a shit? Maybe there's a cameo. I would imagine it'd be a small cameo. Same thing with Skylar, maybe Walt Jr. I can't imagine them having big, incredible roles, though, and I'm not sure what the story right now is going to be, except for Jesse on the lam. Keep in mind, he left in an El Camino. Isn't that why it's called El Camino? Didn't he drive off? I'm not a car guy, but didn't he drive off? Hold on. Yeah, that's what got me in trouble. I was trying to be playful with that video, and I was like, the real Heisenberg, the yada, yada, yada. But I meant it like the ones the cops are going to see as the Heisenberg, but in reality, he's framed. I learned my lesson, Internet. Trust me, I'm going to be as clear as can be in future videos as much as possible. Anyhow, so it's called El Camino, and that's because that's the car he drove in, or drove through the gates and left the compound. So I would imagine if that is the title, it's the continuation of his story afterwards. So it most likely has to do with him being on the run, if the car he fled in is the title to the actual movie. So you guys let me know what you think about that, and how do you feel about a Jesse Pinkman who is hiding from the law and getting back into the drug game, or forced in a way back into the drug game, because that's important for his character. He's someone who has deep regrets, and he kept constantly trying to walk away from what they were doing. Don't forget that. If you have him eager to be the next Heisenberg, which I see a lot of people saying, which I don't understand, he tried walking away, then he tried throwing his money out the window, and I believe that was part of his downfall, wasn't it? Anyhow, thoughts and opinions in that comment box. Go ahead and speak your geek down below. I'm done talking. It's your turn.